Welcome to the Delaware copper mine. Time to descend 100 steps into this mine for a self-guided tour. This self-guided tour takes you down to level 1 of the copper mine. It does cost $14 to get in, but it is worth it because you can spend as much time or little time down here taking in and reading all the signage along the way. So come along, let's take a tour of it. So this was a modern tool used while the mine was opened to actually get copper out faster during the time it was opened. This is level 1 of the mine. There are 10 other levels below it, but unfortunately, all have been submerged in water. Now, there is a video of the Delaware mines where a couple divers actually go into the other levels and scuba dive down, so you can check it on YouTube. Worth a watch if you're actually interested. It's pretty cool to actually walk in once was a active copper mine back in the 1800s. Precisely, it opened about 1846/47 and finally closed down in 1887. So about 40 years being opened and digging for copper, which they produced over 8 million tons of copper during that time period. you will actually run into a couple different of these screens. Do take time to actually listen to them. They are pretty informative, which I did not want to do the whole entire thing because you have to take the tour in order to find out a little bit more information. So there are about 5 different shafts in this mine, which help produce about 8 million tons of copper, which was pretty much non-profitable for the investors involved. That's part of the reason why they actually shut down. Kind of interesting to know that the largest of the shafts is about 1,400 feet down. So, if you think about it, the 10 levels below are quite a bit distance down. That's why they're all submerged. And you come across a whole mess of information. So please do stop and read the signs because it's a lot of information in this one. Like this one, it explains the levels below. As you can tell, it's a shaft going down. So, one of many. But unfortunately, you can't no longer get down them. And this one, it says about an unexpected fire. So it's pretty much you get to see the remains of once was an active mine. And another one, do press this one. It's quite informative. And yep, another hole down. Kind of cool. Always interesting to see things you never actually seen before. So you come up to the UP of Michigan, do explore a couple of mines. This is just one of a few tours you can do. But it's kind of interesting if you've never done it before. Now, during its time operating, it did have a couple different ownerships. But the second company, like the first, did not have great success of making money while digging for copper. But during its 40 years of operating, it really did not have many deaths while operating, which is probably a good success as it is, because copper mining can be very dangerous, especially during the 1800s, where they did not have safety precautions in place. Because they were more in a rush to make money and really did not care about people's safety while in this type of scenario. Now, if you seem like this is a very long tunnel, because it is, it's 1,700 feet. And which takes you through original tunnels of what people worked And you actually do get pretty good artifacts along the way and very informative information. They do dim the lights to give you an actual feel of how the miners were working with maybe a lantern, or how their lanterns can go out and could be very dark at times. So don't be scared. They do turn the lights back on. It's only for a brief moment. So this is where they were able to take out some of the copper while they were down here. Kind of cool actually to see. Kind of a neat tunnel. Again, where you can see the tracks that help bring out the copper. Now we get to head back to the other side to see what is down at the other side we missed. But first we get to see some bats along the way. But please do be mindful. Please don't touch them. But they are actually kind of cool to see. You might see some flying around as well. So this is the other side of the tunnel, which is not a whole lot besides that you cannot enter it. But still kind of neat. It's a short side. Just don't skip out of it if you're actually kind of interested in it. And they do have a table down here if you're interested of bringing some food. But it is time to take back up the 100 steps back up to outside so we can check out the stuff, the building outside. But don't forget to take off your hard hat first before actually sightseeing outside first. Now it's time to take the tour outside and actually see the outlying buildings of the Delaware copper mine. They are still in the processing of preserving some other buildings that they keep finding on this property. But we'll take a tour of what they do have so far. They do give the information on the buildings, like the pump house. It's kind of neat to see them trying to preserve these buildings that were usage well over 150 years ago. Just because history is a part of who we are today. You will see some old tools as well, what they used in the past. But as you can see, it's kind of like what some of the outlying buildings used to be like, which is actually pretty cool and neat to see, and how they were originally being used. Let's continue on our lovely journey outside to see some old relics of buildings like this one. It's kind of neat to see them now, just because of the fact that you don't get to see this everywhere. And as you can tell, this was a old house that somebody was using. Kind of neat information there. And there's some other really cool stuff over here. Let's go check it out. If you really want to know, read the sign below and you'll get in some really cool information. Yeah, making sure you get the nice full view of this house. It's actually pretty cool to see the house and actually seeing how Earth takes it over as well. But enjoying the view while I'm at it. So this is one of their newer spots that they have preserved. It used to be an old blacksmith shop area, which is pretty neat to see that there's a few remnants left over from it. As you can tell, this is the rest of the property, which is roped off as they discover new relics that have been there. They're hiding and they're trying to preserve them for years to come. Before you head out, take a loop around the mining pit It does give you information about it because it's pretty much on your way out. So do pull off to the side. It's a very quick walk before you leave. This is a sign that gives you information about this spot. And all the information for here is in the signs. So if you ever come here, do take time to read the signs, because there's a whole mess of information about them, like this one. So hopefully you come up here and take a tour of the Delaware mine. Definitely worth the $14 going in, which you can actually take a tour by yourself and take your time reading each thing. So recommend going up and taking a tour.